Welcome to Ray's Corner, coming to you live. It won't be live by the time you see this, but the word will be live. Shared some few things yesterday. Went down there and checked out the Civil Rights Museum here down in downtown Atlanta. And I was as I was walking through there and walking through history, be it if you think it was positive or negative, the civil rights movement, had its good things, had its bad things, it placed some things, took a lot of things away from us, gave us some things, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about, when I looked on the names, and you see it on my page, I took a picture of all the people that were arrested. It was people from 16 to 29 years old. It's the young people that's got to make this movement. It's not the old heads. It's not the people 50, 60 years old. If you're 50, 60 years old, 40 years old, still trying to lead and guide, you need to back up. You need to back up. Only thing we need to do is mentor. We need to give them suggestions. We need to show them the mistakes that we made. But when you go through this museum, what was so powerful about it was the young people that made the difference. Young people, you have to start standing up. You're going to have to start understanding, take a walk through there. Maybe some of the things you didn't agree with, but the reality is you're the one that's got to make the change. We're going to give you some guidance. We're going to give you some information so you don't make the same mistakes we make. But the reality is the movement got to be started with you. Got to be started with your creativity, with your ideas, with your strategies, how you look at yourself. You got to stop looking at yourself a certain way that the media is portraying you. You got to know your history. After you know your history, then you can move forward. But what was so powerful about that whole thing, about that civil rights movement, man, was young people. Young people, you're the ones that's going to make a difference. It's not, and I need to tell old heads, you older pastors and apostles and all that. We need to step aside and let these young people, take over these churches, take over these organizations, take over these programs and mentor them, man. Because they're the ones that's going to make the difference. They're the ones that's going to put the strategies together for 2016. You can't be 60 and 50 years old and 40 years old putting strategy together for 2016 when you don't even know nothing about 2016. Because you ain't going through the stuff that they going through. We got to step aside. But young people, you got to step up and you got to be willing to take some guidance at the same time. We need to use your creativity. You need to take the lead. You need to set up the programs. You let us show you what things you need to do, opposed to the things that you don't need to do. And I don't mean it like that. That means take your idea, right, and just let us mold you so you don't make all the same mistakes we make. They were unified. When I looked at that thing, man, it was like they were so unified that it was crazy. I mean, and one thing that stuck out to me, dude said this. He said, you know what? They can beat us. They can whoop us. They can spit on us. But we're going to do this until we die. If death comes to it. See, if you ain't at the place where in this movement that you're not willing to die, then you need to get out this movement. See, older people, you ain't willing to die right now because you done lived too long, and you're trying to just fade into the sunset. Well, go on and fade into the sunset, but fade into the sunset giving, wisdom and knowledge to our younger people, right? Younger people, you need to start stepping up, because you guys are unified. Don't try to, you guys can work this thing out. The violence that's going on these corners, the violence of young people killing each other, young black people's killing each other and killing. Guess what? It's enough of y'all. Y'all can create strategies to shut that whole thing down. You know what it takes to go from home to school. You know what the gauntlet that you run through from drug set to gangs and this and that. Look, if you can make it home every day, the strategy that you got to put together, right? A group of y'all and make a strategy to make it safe. You got to make that strategy. You got to create those ideas, You don't want to hear nothing from old people anyway. So only thing we want to say, and I'm telling you older people, stop trying to lead stuff. We don't need to lead stuff no more. We just need to guide them. We need to mentor them, At first thing, when they broke out the riots in Ferguson and Baltimore, you started talking about the young people like they animals and stuff. They wasn't no animals. We not the ones getting beat up. We're not the ones getting pulled out the cars. We're not the ones getting shot and killed. We're not the ones that can't go from school to home. That's not happening to us. That's happening to them. Am I condoning violence? I'm not condoning violence, but you got to understand, even back in the 70s and the late 60s, we used to riot in Camden. Every when I moved to East Camden, every year we had a riot from 69 to 72. So because you get enough, you get enough with people just pounding you and getting on you and pounding you and calling you this and calling you that and thinking you less than and then all of a sudden you just explode. See, I know the feeling. Some of y'all forgot the feeling. My mom used to, she'll tell you, had me marching down Broadway in Camden, New Jersey, 6, 7 years old. And she's proud of it. Can't take that away from her. But what I'm telling you, what was so amazing about this thing, the age of the people that made the movement. The age of the people that made the movement. The age of the people that made that movement was from high school, college. All of them was under 30. You had a couple of deaths of people over there, but the majority, these was young people. And I'm not even talking about the junior high school kids. They was out there too. I'm just saying that's a type of movement that we got to put together now. Young people, I'm challenging you. Get some wisdom. Start, older people, start stepping aside. Let them develop the programs that we need. Let them develop the programs that they need. Excuse me. They know what they need. They know what they need to survive. Man, it was a serious eye opener for me. I was talking to Pastor David, and he had went through there, and what was so amazing, he's from Nigeria, and it is amazing. He told me he's an old school activist, which is good. I said I'm an activist too, but the reality is, when I walked through there, I was living through some of that stuff. I lived through some of that stuff. I didn't live through it in the South, but people think we had it made in the North. They think because we didn't sit on the back of the bus, or we wasn't, or because we didn't have separate water fountains. Oh, don't get this thing twisted. The North, they just did it in the South, they did it to your face. In the North, they did it behind your back. But it wasn't. Look, anything south of the Canadian border was South back there in the 56 and the 60s. Always, it was anything south of the Canadian border was the South. It was just done differently on the East Coast, but it wasn't no different. They called you the N-word just as fast in the South as they called you in the North. So I'm just here to say, I'm challenging my young people. I'm challenging my older people. Challenging you pastors who've been pastoring the same church for 15, 20, 30 years. Step down. Let your young ministers get behind that pulpit and start preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. Let, your Muslims, let some of your imams who've been out there for 15, 20. I'm just challenging all type of religions. Y'all need to step to the side. Let these young people, they hear God. And let them form a strategy. How can this word, affect my life today? We can't keep trying to lead stuff and we too old. We too old to lead stuff because we don't have that passion. You ain't willing to die right now for the stuff that, some of y'all my age back in the day, we was willing, hanging out with my boys. We was willing to, we was doing some stuff that really could cause us to die, and we made it through. A lot of my boys didn't make it through. I had a 20-year drug run. God let me made it through. I asked myself when I was walking through that museum, am I willing to die today? And I had to be honest with myself. I said, I got to get the passion back if I choose to die today, because it's not like it was when back in the day. I mean, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm willing to die, but I got to get the passion back to want to die. You know what I'm saying? to make a difference, to make a change. But we got to start allowing our young people, man. Young people, look, y'all got to stop wearing them tight pants and all that stuff and running after the clothes and this and that. No, I mean, I was at a thing not too long ago with Dr. Boyce Watkins, over at, I think it was Clark University. I forget, no, Georgia State. And it was about 100 people in the room, and 96 out of the 100 people were young people. It was about 4 or 5 of us old heads from the old school, old school radicals that's still trying to do some stuff, still trying to lead and guide. We ain't trying to run stuff. We just want to be there to support, show our support, give some input. Like I always say, so you don't make the mistakes we make. These young people are serious right now. We got to start supporting the young people. We also got to start, I always say black businesses. We got to support black businesses. We got to support these young people. $1.4 trillion that we generate. We still doing the same old stuff, We still doing the same old stuff. Spending habits all jacked up. Programs all jacked up. It was powerful. I had a call from my brother John Roll from Camden. About 6 or 7 of the boys in one of the gangs called him up. He said they want to get out, give them a job. One of my boys in Camden was doing some subcontracting work. Camden had all these jobs for tearing down houses and stucco, and then these older people messing up the money, ain't paying people on time. So that's something that's getting ready to go down the drain, because us older people, right, is playing these same old games. Get the money and mess up the money and mess up the programs. So now we got 8 little brothers, 6 to 8 little brothers we could have put in work. But these old people, they want to play these games. Man, that ain't cool. Get these grants, get these monies down from the government, then you go mess it up, and then when they turn it back over to the non-black organizations, then you mad. Messing money up. I'm just saying. That was a prime opportunity in Camden. Prime opportunity. Blew some stuff. Now these young brothers, we got to figure out where we can get them. They're not old enough to do temp work. Anybody got some jobs in the South Jersey area that looking to hire some kids from that's at high school age, trying to get out the gangs? That's why I say we got to start creating our own businesses for situations just like this. We got to create our own temp services. We got to create our own retail stores. We got to create our own stuff so when these young people can work their way through high school, so they don't have to be on the corner. Half the young boys on the corner don't really want to be on the corner, but they got to eat. So I'm just saying, if we can support our black businesses, if we can start our black businesses, if you can invest in your black businesses, if you invest in your programs, it's crazy. When we gonna start realizing? When we gonna wake up? Like Gil Scott-Heron said, we got to do something to save the children. But first of all, you old heads, you got to do something to just save your own self, save your mind, because your mind is distorted, your mind is broke down, your mind is corroded, your mind is all jacked up because you wasn't nobody when you was growing up. Now you want to be somebody when you're 50, 60, 70 years old. It ain't your time to be somebody. You should have been somebody back then. Now it's somebody else's time. It's just for us to lead and guide and mentor. I'm going to keep saying it. We need to step down and get out the way. I'm just saying. I'm working with a couple of brothers from Camden, younger brothers, but I always tell them, I'm just here to help you with your idea. I'm not trying to change your idea. I'm just want to give you some input, some wisdom that I might have to help you succeed in what you want to do. That's going to make a difference. That's going to make a change. So I'm just saying, this is Ray's Corner. Ray's Corner is getting real live. I pray that you just share this out. This not just for Camden, New Jersey. This is for everywhere. I come on out, give me, inbox me, organizations. If y'all want to come out, let me do some workshops for you. I'm a consultant. I also do a lot of workshop board training, how to write proposal, administrative excellence, things like that. Help you set up your nonprofit, the whole 9 yards. Call me out. I keep saying, you keep bringing these other handkerchief head people out. that ain't doing nothing for your people. Proven fact. Keep moving forward. Look out for our young people. Got to get them into the entrepreneur skill training program. Let me help develop an entrepreneur skill training program for you. I have an entrepreneur skill training program. I have apprenticeship training program. I have all these types of different things that can assist your program for our young people that they can make a difference. We gotta start thinking about group economics coming into the city, man. I'm telling you, 10, 15 of us can put together $1,000 and start buying these houses up. Start buying these houses up with apprenticeship program, labor training program. Let these young brothers come in, and teach them how to do construction, carpentry work, teach them how to do sheetrocking, teach them how to do roofing, all those things, they can learn that, and that we can start our own handyman service, our own construction company, our own landscaping company, So as we buy houses, they're trained to fix the houses, make money. They're trained to do the landscaping. They're trained to do the plumbing. We can do that thing. We can do it just like that. We hired the young brothers from in the neighborhood to fix up their own neighborhood. That they can walk to work. You ain't got to worry about catching no bus. You ain't got to worry about, having no car. You get up in the morning, you walk to work, and you walk back home. I'm trying to teach us about some group economics. Let me come into your neighborhood. Let me come into your organization and teach you about some group economics. Let me come into your church where the church, can, like I told you the other day. Let me teach your church how you can perform group economics. The church is one of the biggest resources in the world. You have everything you need in the church. Every type of profession that you want in the church, administrative, electrical, technology, you name it, it's all in the church. And then we need to just develop that we can create our own, and start taking back our neighborhoods and turn them back into communities, because there are no more black communities in the United States. They're all neighborhoods. And when you say neighborhood, it's a neighbor in the hood. So we need to start creating our communities again. They're pushing us out. They're pushing us out of the inner city. But see, they're in their 5-year plan and in their 10-year plan, we just need to go right outside of that 10-year plan, right? And start developing. And at some point, they got to come talk to us. We don't need to go inside that circle where that circle right there. They want to develop this right there. So we need to go right outside of that circle, right outside of here. If this is the circle, we go. If this is the circle, we start working outside of the circle, and we start buying up everything outside the circle. So when they try to expand, guess what they got to do? They got to run right into us. Now I just gave out our strategy, right, for free. I promise you, moving forward, I will never do that again. But that's our strategy. Give me a holler. Give me a call. You want to move your church into another level? You want to move your organization to another level? If you want these young people to start using their creativity, give me a call. Come out and do a workshop. Teach you how this thing is done. Teach you some group economics. What else? You got Dr. Claude Anderson. Listen to him. Go listen to him. He got the answer. He's got the answer. And it's guys like us who has listened to him, and we developing what he's saying. And it's, I just use him as an example because he's the main one that I'm kind of listening to. I'm listening to a whole lot of. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to look at a documentary called Colored Adjustments. And it was by Marlon Riggs. I'm getting ready to look at that as soon as I get off of here. You know what I mean? So, and we got to continue study. Got to continue to keep studying. So this is Ray's Corner. I'm put it out there again. If you want to be a part of our 200 Club, go to ExodusHouseNO.com. Hit the donation button, $20 a month, $25 a month. See what we can do with that. If you want me to come out and do some workshops, that's really going to make a difference for your organization or your church. It'd be something tangible that we can start doing some development in our community. Inbox me. You can inbox me. just when you go to ExodusHouseNO.com, just email me. There's a spot in there where you can email me, and I'll get back with you, and I'll come on out. It's Ray's Corner. Camden, New Jersey's in the house. Peace out. Holla.